I think everybody in the room knows me, but if not, my name is Diane Ballard, and for over 30 years I have been a member here at Central Christian Church. I was born and raised in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, in the western part of the state, at First Christian Church in Hopkinsville. That makes me one of those few rare lifelong disciples. We're few and far between, but hopefully growing in number. I grew up very active in all the activities of church at First Christian, Sunday school, VBS, teen choir, youth group. All those wonderful memories came to my mind one day 4 years ago when I received a brief text from David. "May I call and talk to you for a moment?" I said, "Sure." Not quite knowing what to expect, as David was still fairly new to us here at Central. David said, "I was told by Pam Beck that you help a little with faith formation here in the past at Central." I thought a minute and I said, "Yes, I have worked alongside many here at Central, including briefly Walter Hale, Milford Walters, Michael Davidson, and Chad Snellgrove." David said, "Well, I need you to help us out just for a little while with overseeing the Faith Formation Committee and activities again until we can call a replacement for Chad." Thus began my latest decision, my decision to put into all that I could to make sure that no child, youth, or adult missed out on any part of their faith formation journey just because others needed to make decisions about their faith paths and their journeys. I'm going to pause here a moment to say that in addition to working with faith formation, as a profession, I am a registered nurse. I have worked for over 35 years as a diabetes educator. I am used to making decisions. I make decisions that are sometimes life-threatening. I make sometimes decisions that are just practical skills. This practice that I have used for many years and the practice that I have worked with, one day the manager decided we needed to take Myers-Briggs personality traits. I had to hunt and hunt to find my pen in my jewelry box, but I did. And it said I was an ENFP. I am an extrovert, an intuitive, feeling, and perceptive person. What I really laughed was when I read my packet, it said that I am the person that you go to get you out of a fire. And I am chief party planner. In other words, I can make decisions. So I said yes to David about faith formation, but I had no idea that these personality traits would be used several times here at Central. Let me tell you, folks, we at Central have incredible children and youth here. Amen. They are funny, they are active, they are honest, don't ask unless you want to know, and almost always up to learning along their faith journey. I have learned so much about faith from sharing time with them, probably as much as I have as sitting in worship listening to sermons, except for present company. David and Elizabeth, always on point. Many of you probably see me leave after children's church each week. I often feel like the Pied Piper. I lead the children out of the sanctuary. Our parents are stepping up to the plate, and we are now averaging 18 to 22 4-year-olds through 3rd grade at church each and every week. Hallelujah. The decision on the part of these families to bring faith to our children. The children and I read our Bible lessons from a Bible with pictures. We review which parts of the Bible it's from, New Testament, Old Testament, chapters, verses. It never ceases to amaze me that even if a child is laying on the floor, gazing up at the stained glass window, they can answer every question on what we learned today. We at Central need to learn our young families' names, the names of these young disciples. They have made the decision to attend Central, and we need to continue to make the decision to know our church family. These children are making friends that I hope will grow strong as they grow up. Another hat I wear is with the youth. Now let me tell you, we have had some fun times. Mission trips for youth, why do we take them? They need to be pushed out of our comfort zone. We need to experience new things. We need to make new friends. So the summer of 2016 was my first time to make the decision on where would the youth go on our mission trip. I decided they needed to experience Christ Mount, the Disciple Retreat Center in Black Mountain, North Carolina. I called up Jamie Brame and I said, could you use some teenagers as camp helpers for Camp Sunshine? Camp Sunshine is a camp week for adults with special needs and different abilities. He said, sure, come on over. We've never done this before, but I think it will work. The youth and their parents questioned my decision. Where are we going? What are you going to do? However, we loaded up in our wonderful church bus. After our 8:30 service and blessing, David sent us off down 75. I was driving the bus, the music was blaring, the youth happily chatting away when I smelled smoke. Remember that Myers-Briggs? After a quick decision and a discussion with Pam Beck and Juliana Nitz, the other sponsors along with me, we made the decision to pull over at the London exit. It was a God thing. We pulled right into a truck mechanic's parking lot. I raised the hood and the smoke billowed out. I thought, Lord, what are we doing? The parents are not ever going to let me take these children and these youth anywhere else. However, the mechanic walked over, looked over my shoulder and said, it's a belt. I can short belt it and get you on the road, but it'll take a few hours. I thought, oh me. But those few hours became the perfect bonding time for our youth. Some of them, this was their first time to ever go on a mission trip. They still to this day talk about playing hacky sack in the parking lot, coloring and playing cards in the floor of the truck stop's waiting area. We had a picnic with food balanced on tires for sale and their checkout counter. Our decision turned out to be a great decision. So much so that this will be my 4th year of mission trips with our youth, and they have begged so we will return to Christ Mount this summer. This time we will be counselors for a day camp for children with different abilities. My talk took a change yesterday when I got the call from Elizabeth about Matt Fiscus. So one thing that I learned in working with both of these groups has given me the observation and the insight that is very important. You need to make the decision to be a good friend. These children and youth, they get church family. They may only see each other one Sunday a week, but they have become friends, and they know what church family is. A decision to become a good friend takes work. Dan and I have been a member of Midweek Fellowship for over 30 years here at Central. We no longer meet on Wednesdays, so we're not midweek anymore. We no longer need Jack Morris to be our church mentor and our supervisor. But we have bonded with friends. We have shared together our lives. We have been intermingled here at Central. We have been to family camp at Wakondaho. We have done Bible school. We've done youth groups. Our children have been born, raised, launched. We now support each other in aging parents, losing spouses, parents, Central is where we get our faith, but friends are the ties that bind us. I have a group of girlfriends, and we meet for lunch every Monday. They were very accommodating when I came on staff 4 years ago. We moved our lunches a little earlier because we need each other. We need our support. You must make a decision to be a good friend. Youth talk about as long as they can be together, they're not too concerned with where we go or what we do. I hope that they make decisions to continue their bonds as they launch out into the world. Our girls, Rachel and Rebecca, along with Natalie Jones, Erin Ritterbush, and Olivia Griffin, spent Thanksgiving in London, England this Thanksgiving. They had become church friends and family, starting in the cradle here at Central. That's my hope for all of our children and youth. I understand that on our Facebook Live, our church family members can see who is dialing in, who's checking on who. They have made their decision to stay part of our church family regardless of where they are. We are hoping to welcome a new youth minister to Central in the very near future. My hope for them is that they make the decision to be a good friend to our youth, a good friend to their families, and to others of us here at Central. I know I'm ready to make a new friend. So, in our reflection, let's think about, what does church family, being a good friend, what does that mean to you? Also, how many of our children and our youth's names do you know? And what are their connections? Do they have aunts, uncles, grandparents? Think about it. We have to make a decision to be a good friend. We have to make a decision to be a church family, and we are a church family of all ages.